Truly, truly, I say to you, the one who does not enter the sheepfold through the gate, but climbs in by another way, that one is a thief and a robber. But the one who enters through the gate is the shepherd of the sheep. Good morning. Welcome to a short biblical reflection on the Gospel reading from the Gospel according to John, chapter 10, verses 1 up to 18. It is the Gospel reading for the fourth Sunday of Easter year A, which is dedicated as the Sunday of the Good Shepherd. To whom this teaching Jesus directs, we would need just to go backwards. In chapter 9, there is a story of healing a man born blind, and they are the Pharisees who are opposing to Jesus. This teaching in particular is addressed to them, as we read later on in verse 6, which also I highlighted. Jesus said this parable to them, but they did not come to know what he was telling them. In the first part of this passage, which is the parable, as it is this verse 6 referring, after the opening statement, Jesus now specifies what does the good shepherd, and later on what the thieves and robbers are doing, which are later on in verse 5 called as a stranger. The good shepherd, to him the gatekeeper opens the gate, and the sheep hear his voice, and he calls his own sheep by name and leads them out. When he has brought out all his own, he goes in front of them, and the sheep follow him because they know his voice. On the contrary, in verse 5, and a stranger they will not follow, but they will run from him because they do not know the voice of strangers. So the contrast is based also on knowledge. They know the voice of the shepherd, there is that familiarity. He calls them also by name, so he takes care for them, they know who he is. While the strangers, they do not know, they don't recognize their voices, and therefore they do not follow them. And in following part, after this statement, which would be kind of central statement, that Jesus said this parable to them, but they did not come to know what he was telling in verse 6. Now from verse 7, again we have comparison. So Jesus said again, truly, truly I say to you, I'm the gate for the sheep. The one who came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. I'm the gate. Who enters through me will be saved, and will come in and go out and find pasture. The thief comes only to steal and kill and destroy. I came that they may have life and may have it abundantly. As in the first part, the stress is on this familiarity between the shepherd and the sheep. They know his voice, therefore they follow him. Now the contrast is in verse 8. The sheep did not hear them. There is Greek word, but also behind would be a Hebrew word which has also the double meaning, the same as Greek word, but we can translate either way, by to hear and to listen to. So there is just hearing of any voice, any noise, any sound, but also being obedient. And this double play on this meaning would be also here. On one hand, they do not hear them, they did not hear them because the robbers, thieves, which represent those who are contrary to the good shepherd, we can also hear, and we could recall the prophetic critical statements about the pastors of ancient Israel who did not pasture the sheep but themselves, so they neglected them, and therefore they were not addressing to them teaching, so consequently they could not hear them. But also there would be also the double meaning, seeing their actions, they also didn't listen to them. They didn't follow their evil example. And now I would like also to conclude, because in the lectionary we have also this proposal of Psalm 23, which pictures nicely the Good Shepherd. Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside still waters. He restores my soul. He leads me in right paths for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I fear no evil. For you are with me, your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil, my cup overflows. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I shall dwell in the house of the Lord my whole life long. This, in the center of this psalm, there is this very beautiful expression of complete trust in the Lord. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will not fear evil. For you are with me, the rod and your staff, they comfort me. This psalmist completely relies on the Lord, on his protection. And then also, there is also a reversal of his condition, presumably already in the life to come. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. The Good Shepherd takes care of the psalmist even after his death, but on the contrary, this table also is set in the presence, we could say also in front of the enemies, but also they died, but they don't enjoy the same happiness as he in heaven, and therefore they can only look at him, how the Lord takes care of him. I would like to wish you a nice day, a nice reflection on this gospel reading.